Level 26. That last boss was kind of anticlimactic, I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand, like, dude, I keep saying this, and I mean it wholeheartedly. This game is not as good as Persona 5. People glaze it because it's newer. Are you raw uploading the gameplay or editing it? I'm raw uploading it on my secondary account's YouTube channel. What is the gameplay? What am I even supposed to be doing? What are we even doing today? Oh, there's nobody to hang out with on Wednesday. What's on the agenda? These guys have long torsos. I guess let's go hang it. Wait, why are you asking, Ugg? You gonna go back and watch them? I'm definitely, this would take way too long if I edited all of them. No cap. On top of me getting deadlock stuff that I haven't even edited. Enter the bookstore. I think if you edited them to be funny stream highlights, they would be more interesting. Yes, it's just a lot of time. A lot of time. A lot of time. I want to make my deadlock stuff a little bit more edited though. I want my deadlock to be more highlighted and whatnot. You need someone who has no job per se and also doesn't mind not getting paid. Yeah, that would be fantastical.
My wife just
to edit for me. Ooh. Well, I've just headed out to GeckoCon. I'll wait here.
Well, she won't be gone long. In the meantime, why don't you keep me company? Are you thirsty? Here, I've got something we could share. Wait, where are the cops? Oh, I don't know how to find a thing around here without my wife. Oh, dear.
Here she is.
Back just in.
What's happening?
The tree.
What happened?
What's gotten into you?
What's
dear?
happening?
Take a deep breath. You ought to know better than to walk so far at your age. Here, drink this. And here's some for you too.
Cyclone tea? Cylon tea?
Judging by her reaction, it seems the rumors might be true. The persimmon tree we told you about. You know, the one by the walkway at your school. My wife heard a rumor that it was going to be cut down. She almost fainted. Do you know anything about this?
I'm worried. I don't know anything though.
You're so sweet. I'm worried too. I tried to look into these allegations, but I think I was barking up the wrong tree.
If it's not too much trouble, could you tell us if you hear any more about it?
Seem to be counting on me to hear something about a tree? Feel like we're growing closer. I don't know anything about this tree. I can edit videos, but I need foot pics or some, I don't know. What would you want, bro, if you wanted to edit my videos?
Very important, but
like, I have no
only if
money.
It's convenient for you. Tell us if you hear anything about the persimmon tree, all right?
Like, if you could get things uploaded as I'm streaming, that'd be so good. Because, like, the Billy stuff, if you could get that together while I'm streaming and then Persona stuff after stream, oh my gosh. That'd be so much better. I don't know. I have no clue how to edit. So, okay, well then.
Welcome back.
Then there's no point. Sorry, I need to talk to Fuka. About what? Mate, do you good to just rest today? Do you know who I am? I'm the motherfreaking Ace Artorias, bro. I'm always ready to clown. Wait, did we get anything from that dungeon? Come on, come on.
Oh yeah.
Nope, not a thing.
Come back soon.
I mean, you could easily get the built stuff uploaded mid-stream if it's unedited, but if it's like actually edited with item description on screen, it may take time. Do you think that's the best way to edit a Deadlock video with item descriptions? Should I do that? Put items on the screen to describe what's happening? But that wasn't my question. Just because you've seen most videos, do you think that that is like a really good addition to the videos? Like it needs to be in a Deadlock video? Like there's people talking.
Anyway.
You know, our campus is actually pretty clean and new. I only noticed after my club had to visit another school. My parents said that our school was rebuilt after an explosion 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I also heard that explosion wasn't the only reason. Okay, freaking, it helps new players get into your content, so I'd say so. Or players who haven't played for a while and don't know what item changes happened. Okay. Around that time, a lot of students suddenly stopped coming to school. Maybe that's why they put up the new building to start with a clean slate.
Huh?
What, you think there's a dark side to Gekukan High? You watch way too much TV. The first bell has rung.
Let's skim through this chapter.
Let's talk about channel. Let's see what you know. So the law permitting permanent ownership of newly cultivated land served as a foundation for the development of feudalism. Thanks to this decree, a lot of land was cultivated. At the same time, a serious problem arose for the farmers. Do you remember what that was? I gotta look this one up. I don't know this one. I don't know this one. I don't know this one. Wait. We got Persona 3 Farmers question. Social disparity. Come on.
Yes.
Wait, it really doesn't matter that I get these right. My charm's already maxed out. That is at literally nothing for me. Okay, wait, why is there absolutely nothing going on at school? Why am I unable to hang out with anybody? Come on! Let me hang out with at least somebody. Back to the old Gramps. Old Gramps in them. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, we were just talking about you. We've been feeling a bit guilty for troubling you about the persimmon tree.
Wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, good one. I wouldn't worry about it. Glad you can joke around even at a time like this. Makes me feel like we're not so different, you and I. Lord knows I can't pass up a good pun. That persimmon tree is a reminder of our son. Actually, Before his death, he was a teacher at GeckoCon. He planted that tree on graduation day with the students of his very first class.
Oh, that's
Just
wow,
when
that
we
makes
thought
everything
that
so
tree
much
was
better.
about to bear fruit. Why now? Why do they want to cut it down now?
Cheer up. It'll be okay. Cheer up.
Thank you. I'm all right now. That made me feel a lot better. It's very comforting talking to you.
Heck yeah.
Wow!
I can
You
try that
really
video if you
gone
want
and
to see the
captured my
potential
wife's
product.
heart. You must be
If you
want
want to do that,
My wife's no sucker after all.
it's I don't know
feel
what you
I'm
would
looking
edit
at
though.
myself when I was in my
Maybe
prime.
okay. Hold on. Other couple seems to have grown fond of me. You can go back in my VOD and try to edit the video of whenever I got MVP on Calico if you want to do that. That's something you could do. If you want to, that's up to you though. I don't have money to pay you. I could do some game highlights. If you want to do that, you can do that. But I don't have money. So like you just be doing it for fun. Any specific things you want, like funny or good kills? Put some Persona music in the background. That's like the only thing that matters. And make it more than 10 minutes if possible. Level 5? Ah, let's go. Alright, I got you. Okay.
Don't fret too much about the tree. Just stop by when you have the chance. Oh, and take this. It's leftover from earlier, but it's still good.
I'm gonna download your VOD after the stream and I'll try some. Okay, crab bread into my pocket. He put it in my pocket? What the heck?
Well then, you take care of yourself.
You too, man. Mr. Sir Bunkichi. Went back to the dorm. I think after the big boss, they were just like, yeah, you just chill out for the next couple of days.
Oh, it's you.
Welcome back. Feeling rested? There's plenty of time until the next full moon, and while I wish I could tell you to take it slow, I'm gonna start next week, so I'd like you to care for your health and concentrate on your studies. Oh yeah, so we should be studying. Yeah, that's what we need to be doing. To the rooftop. Whoa, that's not where I want to go. Rooftop, and then the main floor. Okay, I wonder, can I study? Yes, I can study with them. Let's study. Yeah, I get a drink and got caught by Michiru, as you can see. I'm not worried about Akihiko's grades. I'm more worried he'll run off and do some reckless training. Studying has the added benefit of preventing that possibility. So here we are, even though I'm mostly done studying for the exam.
In that case,
Then why don't you overlook Artorius' studies? That is, if he is able to join us. Please do.
I see.
All right, sit down. I'll be your study coach.
I was hoping to go for another run after rehydrating.
I believe you've done enough physical activity for one day. Any more and you'll hurt yourself.
Fine. So, were there any subjects you needed help with?
Kanji.
The most basic method is writing them over and over again. But I get that's a tough way to stay motivated. That's why I reward myself with workout reps based on the number of new kanji I've learned. The more you study, the stronger you'll get. Pretty motivating, huh? In any case, I advise having a good workout ready to treat yourself with after a study session.
Oh,
it
the
all comes
workout.
down to making it a regular habit.
Crazy how
Just
this
a
dude
little
works
each
out,
day
but he's
really
very
adds up.
skinny still. Where your protein at?
Wasn't going to say anything, but Akihiko, working out isn't normally a reward for most people. On top of that, what good does it do to preach about long-term habits mere days before the exam?
I guess you have a point. In that case, how would you recommend cramming for it?
It's not my usual style, but I would focus on memorizing material that is likely to be tested. If you give it your all, it shouldn't be too difficult. Easier than facing the enemy wholly unprepared, at least.
The enemy?
Well, we can talk all night, but doing is where the magic happens.
Facts.
Here, let me give you some practice problems.
Rigorous advice. That's a good word. Rigorous. I'm still not level 4, holy.
You catch on quick. You immediately took what you learned and put it into practice.
Come on
All
now.
you need now is some strength training and you'll be unstoppable. Once the exams are over, why don't we dive into Tartarus for a bit and get some workouts in?
You never change. I'll need to continue keeping an eye on you to make sure you don't overdo it.
The more you study and the more you train, the better results you'll get.
There's a
I
bump
look
on the
forward to
side of
seeing
my
what you'll accomplish
waist.
from here on. Let's call it here for today. I want to get some stretches in before heading to bed.
Holy silence and darkness. What was that about? Okay.
Let's get on with today's lesson. Okay.
What is it? Esoteric study of Jewish text called? I think it's Kabbalah. Jewish text question. Yeah, I'm a cheater. When Persona 6 comes out, I will not be cheating. I promise. Correct answer is Kabbalah. I knew it.
Cool.
But it doesn't matter, bro. Bro, nah, I don't need. My charm's already met. Why do I keep doing that? Nothing but exams. Let's see if I can get my academics up, maybe? If I can level this up again, I'll do this. If not, I'm gonna go study until I get to level 4. Oh, wow! Let's go. Level 6, baby.
Oh, look, dear. He's here. Try and perk up for the boy, all right?
I understand their reasoning. But if they really go through with this, if we lose that tree, it would be like losing our son all over
Oh,
again.
it's so sad. Please don't fight. That's nice.
Oh, we're fine. We're not fighting. I was just fussing. Sorry for making you worry.
Okay. As long as you're not worried anymore.
About cutting down the persimmon tree was true. So we went to the school together to say our goodbyes. Unfortunately, that just reminded my dear of the pain we felt the day our son died.
Dang. I'm sure it'll be okay.
See, dear? That's exactly what I said. If you keep crying all the time, then what'll your admirers think? Right?
Oh my, don't make fun of this wrinkled old lady.
Level 6. Alright, we're ranking up. We're ranking up really fast in this week before exams.
There's Stop by again anytime, all right? My wife would always be happy to see such a handsome young man. Here, take this for when you get hungry.
This dude always giving me stuff, bro. He stuffed it into my pocket. Fried bread. Fried bread? Doesn't sound very good. Toasted bread? Sounds better. Fried? Who fries bread?
Oh, welcome back.
Free tonight with exams coming. I thought maybe we second years could study. Yes!
Huh?
Oh, well, his loss. You and me and Fuka can still study together. Ooh! Let's do it! Let's study.
Yeah.
Fuka, your notes look so trendy. I kinda wasn't expecting that.
Trendy? What does that even mean?
Oh no, these are Natsuki-chan's notes. She let me borrow them since I was out trapped in Tartarus.
What a good friend, I guess.
She sure
Just
is.
that brown-haired girl? That is not a good
That
friend. They
said,
trapped you into...
There's actually
No,
quite
no,
a
no,
bit missing from these notes.
Oh, you're right. This part just has the equation and no answer. And this page is full of doodles. And this part, is that a drool stain?
Holy.
Hey, it may not be the best study material, but it's the thought that counts,
No,
right?
bro, no. F that girl, bro.
I'm trying to think
Got
of a way
Fuka
to
trapped
return
in
the favor.
Tartarus. It's the thought that counts, bro. I don't want you to complete her
You
notes.
guys are friends, right? I don't think you need to worry about it. But I get how you feel.
Oh, I know. Maybe I could fill in the parts that are missing in her
No,
notes.
don't do that.
Or would that be rude?
I think that's a great idea. We
No.
could even help you out.
F her.
It'd help us review the material too, right?
Thanks, you two.
Here, let me see those notes.
I don't approve.
Oh, yeah.
Rewrote the entire thing. Oh, I think that's a level up. It's not. I'm trolling. I'm just, nice. Nice.
All done. It looks wonderful.
Natsuki-chan's in for a real surprise when she sees this.
I hope she likes it, I guess. Bro, just be
I'm
nice.
sure she will. I couldn't have done it without your help.
It doesn't really
Thanks,
do
you two.
anything.
Well, it certainly helped us study too, right?
I'll make sure to give Natsuki-chan the notes back tomorrow. Good night.
Good night. Doo-doo-doo. Next day. On the 11th.
Hey,
So exams are coming up pretty soon. Have you been studying? Yep. Oh yeah, well not that it's any of my business. Of course I've been studying, bruh. Gotta get my academics up, bro.
Fight, Sengoku.
Now what do you think that item was? It's something very samurai needs. Every samurai needs? Samurai needs question. The katana. See, that's what I was thinking, but like, you know,
Yes, exactly.
do that one already, huh? Yep, it's the katana. I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. That was gonna be on the exam, I guess. Oh. Message from Sonata. Is coming tonight. Sounds like he has something to tell us. We'll meet on the 4th floor once we're all back. Okay, so I gotta study early today. That's all that means. We are... Yo, it's crazy how we can talk to them literally every single day. Well, since today is the day, shouldn't I get my academics up? Yes! Yes! Still? Holy. I've been slacking so much, I guess. Okay, hopefully we talk to them and then we can still study
And
afterwards.
that's the summary of what happened on the night of the 7th. These shadows seem to be quite a bit more formidable than the ordinary ones.
I see. So our enemies are growing stronger as well. Well, it's not all bad news. In fact, I called today's meeting because...
Hold on. Before we go on, I'd like to ask Kirijo-senpai something.
Oh?
I know I'm not the only one thinking this. So much has been happening lately. I feel like I've just been getting dragged along without really understanding anything. But now, I want answers. So I'm gonna ask you straight out. You've been hiding something from us, haven't you, Senpai? You're always acting like you don't know anything about the Dark Hour or Tartarus. But they're connected to that accident 10 years ago, aren't they?
What accident?
Yukari-chan?
There was an explosion near our school and a lot of people died. It must have been big news back then. You know about it, don't you?
Ooh! Back when she was like 5 years old?
Luckily, no students were injured. But something is off here. At the time of the incident, there were several unexplained absences. Seems like more than just a coincidence to me.
What do you mean?
Well, I dug up some old school records and found something interesting. Those students weren't just absent. They all suddenly collapsed and had to be sent to the hospital. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Remember those girls who bullied Fuka? They had to be hospitalized too. I want an explanation. What really happened on the day of that accident?
What happened?
The Kirijo group built our school, so you have to know something.
Ooh.
Tell me the truth.
We're getting spicy.
I wasn't trying to hide anything from you, it just never seemed relevant. But...
It's okay. It's not your fault.
all right, I'll tell you everything. Shadows have many mysterious abilities. Some research indicates they can even affect time and space. We think of them as our enemies, but what if we could somehow use them to our advantage? They could be a source of unimaginable power, couldn't they?
What?
14 years ago, one man pursued that very line of thinking. He was the former leader of the Kirijo group, Koetsu Kirijo, my grandfather.
Oh, flashback.
My grandfather was obsessed with the shadows. He wanted to harness their power to create something extraordinary.
I bet he didn't participate.
Something extraordinary?
To that end, he assembled a research team and had them amass a number of shadows.
Holy.
He was collecting them? Damn, that's freaking crazy.
But 10 years ago, during the final stages of the project, there was an accident. And the experiment failed. They lost control of the Shadow's power, altering the nature of the entire world.
Holy.
You can't mean...
Yes. Tartarus and the Dark Hour.
That created it, with all of those bodies.
According to the records, the accumulated mass of shadows split into several large ones that later dispersed. These are the shadows we've been encountering on nights when the moon is full.
Maybe that's why it's difficult to predict where they'll appear.
Wait a minute. If what you said is true, then why did our school turn into Tartarus? Don't tell me. Is it because that's where they conducted the experiment?
Holy.
Yes.
Then those students who were hospitalized.
It's just as you fear. It was a highly populated area, and the Kirijo group had influence there. They could essentially do as they pleased. Port Island must have been the perfect location for them. So yes, as you guessed, the experiment 10 years ago was conducted at Gekkokan High School.
Just what are you trying to say here? So that's the whole purpose behind C's? We were dragged into all this just to clean up their mess? You lied to us? And you knew too, didn't you, Sanada-senpai? You've both just been using us!
Holy.
Or do you not care as long as you're the one who gets to do the fighting?
I never said anything like that. I have my reasons.
Think what you'd like, but it was my decision not to share the information. I'm sorry. It was never my intent to deceive you. Convincing you to join C's was my highest priority.
Convincing is deceiving.
But
Because you
shadows
didn't give
can
the full
only be
information.
defeated by Persona users. We are the only ones who can fight.
That's hardly the point!
I never had a choice either. It didn't matter if I wanted this power or not.
Oh, now you're playing that card. That I had to do it too?
That's enough.
Bruh.
Takeba-kun, it's only those in the past who are to blame. And they lost their lives as a result of what they did. We're all in the same boat here. None of us deserve the burden that's been thrust upon us.
But that's...
It's been 10 years since the incident in question. No one knows why those shadows suddenly returned. But now that they're here, we have the chance to find and destroy them. Do you realize what that means? What if I told you that the 12 shadows are the cause of everything?
Ooh, and we already got 4 of them.
You're saying if we defeat them all, Tartarus and the Dark Hour will disappear?
Okay, maybe not all of them.
Exactly. That's what I was going to tell you earlier. See? It's good news, isn't it?
Can that really be true?
There's evidence to support it. And this is where our true battle begins.
Our true battle.
Regardless of what's happened in the past, we must fight to protect the people. The shadows are gaining strength. We can't afford to wait for them to strike first.
Facts. How are they gaining strength if we're killing them?
And there are still many mysteries surrounding Tartarus. For instance, why did such a gigantic structure appear in the first place? The answers must be out there somewhere.
We must defeat the 12 shadows that started all of this. In order to eradicate both the Dark Hour and Tartarus, I must fight to protect everyone. 6 of them remain. Easy claps. 26 days, so 1 more. So I guess we're not studying? I'll just go study by myself then. Gotta get my academics up. Gotta get ready for this freaking thing, you feel me? This exam. Yes! Come on, level 4. Level 4. Level 4. No! Okay. This day is the day that it will actually happen. Come on. Come on, we got 2 more days until we run out of time.
Lounging about as usual, huh?
Getting a lot of story now.
Hugh, what do you want? If you're gonna ask me to go back, the answer's still no.
That's not why I'm here. I was just making sure you were still around.
That's so.
We've known each other a long time. It's been almost 14 years since we met at the orphanage. You, me, and Miki.
Miki?
We used to run around here until
orphanage.
the sun went down. Back then, it seemed like we had all the time in the world.
You haven't changed one bit. If you want to get all sappy, go do it with your other pals.
What was that?
It's rare for you to think about the past. Usually, you just charge ahead like a damn fool. You've never been good at hiding shit.
Everyone thinks about the past. Even me. Anyway.
Ooh.
We finally
Bro,
know
something's
how to
going
get
on
rid
with
of
their
Tartarus
past.
in the dark hour.
No shit?
Yeah. The thing is, all I've cared about until now is getting stronger. Everything else came second. But yesterday, someone made me question my reason for fighting.
Your reason for fighting? Huh. It's different for everyone. But if you don't have a good one, you can always quit. That's what I did.
I'm not like you. Man, I can't believe I'm the one getting lectured here. Well, see you around.
See you around, space cowboy.
You really haven't changed at all.
He'll join us soon enough. Okay.
Yes?
What is?
Can I talk to you for a moment?
Senpai. This is unusual. Please, come in.
So not only do you excel at providing support during battle, you are also quite skilled at gathering information.
Oh, I'm sorry for doing that without permission.
Don't worry, you're not in trouble. But I do have an important favor to ask of you. I want you to find out as much as you can about that incident 10 years ago.
Oh, well, very little of that was made public.
I know. That's why I want you to access the Kirijo Group's database.
You mean hack into their system?
Holy.
Is that allowed?
I'll give you my ID and password. Then you won't be held accountable. But I need to know the truth. In detail.
Senpai.
Of course, I'll understand if you refuse.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
W Fuka,
Are
man.
you sure? I appreciate it. Yamagishi, aren't you resentful? Regardless of my good intentions, I did drag you into this without fully explaining. I'm
Facts.
sure you must have at least a few complaints.
Not really. Did you know my entire family is made up of doctors? My parents are the one exception. It gives them a bit of an inferiority complex. That's why they're so hard on me. I don't like being at home. But here,
wow.
I'm able to do something no one else can.
Holy.
I have a purpose.
Everybody
So no,
has trauma
I
and
don't have any
problems and
complaints.
baggage.
You're right. We can't do this without you.
This
No
is
one
so
could take
interesting.
your place.
Oh,
Thank you. I'll see you later.
I mean, Mitsuru had your place from the beginning, but now it's
So,
like yeah,
Tartarus
everybody's
and the Dark
talking.
Hour are on the way out, huh? No, that's a good thing. That's what we've been fighting for. So then, why
No purpose. He has no
Damn it.
purpose.
am I so pissed?
gosh, it's hot. Even for July.
Wow, can't believe we're already third years. Guess this will be the last time we'll wear these uniforms and hang out after school.
Who cares? I just want to get into college and start having fun already.
Yep. Fear of getting old. He don't know what to do.
I get it. My problem is me. And going on like fighting was my duty and all. Actually, it's just all I'm good at.
Not true.
Because without that, I'm nothing. So much for being a hero. I can't fight worth the shit anyway. Not compared to him, at least.
Talking about me? Holy!
it.
Comparison is a
Nothing I
thief of
do
joy.
is good enough.
Junpei's actually really good. Holy, everybody has problems, actually. I wonder what I wonder if I'm going to talk about my dead parents.
Why am I only ever right about the worst things? Am I stupid for trusting in something so blindly? Dad, I got this letter from you last spring. I must have read it 1,000 times since then.
To my family, 10 years
That's
into the
Sasuke.
future. Tomorrow, I'll bring this letter to the opening ceremony for the Moonlight Bridge. It will be stored in a time capsule and sent to you in 10 years' time. Yukari, you may be small now, but in 10 years, you'll be 16. You'll be in high school. I know you've been sad because I have to work so late, but you always manage to greet me with a smile. I'm really proud of myself. Kirijo-san appointed me head researcher. I'll be starting on a big
Fake
project
fan, I
soon.
fell asleep with the stream playing.
It feels good to
Nah,
receive so much
real fan,
recognition
you.
for my work. But I swear to you, nothing is more important to me than you and your mother.
W Sasuke. You're a real fan for being here the entire time, Tricky. Knocked out on my balcony swing. You have a balcony swing? Holy rich. But nah, Tricky, you're good. You being here, you lurking, that's a real fan right there. It's okay if you sleep. As long as you're here, bro. That's all that matters. The support is what matters to me.
Dad.
Yukari, I wonder, are you enjoying life?
I'd even put them
Do you
up
have
there
high
because
hopes
I
for the
saw it on
future?
TikTok and
Do you
wanted one
still
so
look
bad.
towards tomorrow with excitement and wonder, like you do now?
W balcony
No
swing.
matter what happens in the next 10 years, I hope you're happy, and I hope this letter brings a smile to both you and your mother's faces. Eiichiro Takeba, March 6th, 2000.
Dang.
No matter what happens, huh? All I can do is believe. I won't turn my back. I won't be like Mom.
What?
Not ever.
What is happening? What happened to Bob? Exams are coming up. It's almost time for some home shopping show. But if I don't get my academics up, bro, it's literally on Tuesday. No. No. I guess we go hang out with Maya, my teacher. My teacher. Oh snap. It's the only day of the week I can hang out with her. I think I'll spend time with her. And then also we got Doodad coming next month. Important announcement. It has been our hope since the launch of Innocent Sin Online to maintain the game of as long as we are able. The game shutting down. Unfortunately, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to terminate service. We deeply apologize for any inconvenience this may cause for our loyal players. The servers will remain open until the official end dates. Please tie up any unfinished business before then. They didn't give an end date because they want you to be able to max out Maya's Confidant before any time. Thank you for understanding. We hope you've enjoyed your time with Innocent Sin Online. Sincerely, Innocent Sin Online staff. The game's booted up now. I'm in Shinagawa Dungeon. I see Maya. You got that message from the admins, right, Katsuya? Maya faces away. It said they're canceling Innocent Sin. Think it's for real? No way! Destiny 2, they shit. I know, right? How dare they? I was getting all worked up. Finally found a place to vent my frustrations, and now this? Maya gets closer. Katsuya, do you think we'll still be able to see each other? No, this is the end. Don't worry about that. I think so. Yes, we gotta find another way. A different MMO maybe, or IRL somewhere. I don't know. I like this one though. I seem a little down. No, we have to stop wasting our time. Maya is not going quietly. I'll beat him to the punch. What are you planning? Oh, don't worry, Tatsu. I won't do nothing dangerous at 8. Parentheses. Maya seems a little happier. I'm gonna send them a log for the convos we've been having together here. If they know this game is important to us, maybe they can reconsider. Even though you might be a middle-aged man or a 12-year-old girl, that shouldn't matter. To tell you the truth, I kind of hope you're a handsome guy, though. Don't worry, Maya will protect you. We'll always be partners, Kay. I can tell Maya cares about me. I feel like we're growing closer. Let's go. Oh, only one more time, and then we should be good. Okay, I'm gonna write my email with our convo log. Don't mess with Maya and friends, or you'll regret. Next time we celebrate our victory, okay? Bye. Maya's player signed off. I decided to log out as well. Let's go, bro. Level 9? We're getting there. We're about to get a whole bunch of more confidants as well. At least Sun.
Oh.
Artorias. Whoa, where my study group at? Where my study group at? Bruh. My study group. I don't think there's anything to study over there, so I gotta study here. I gotta study. I must study. We got exams in one more day after this. Come on! Let's go! We did it! Okay, now we can go hang out with people again until after the exam.
It's good to see you again.
Nice.
How long has it been since we first met? Time passes so quickly. So tell me, how's life as a Persona user?
Something's missing.
I wonder what. I hope you find it soon. I remembered something else about the coming of the end. It all stems from something that took place many years ago.
Whoa.
10 years ago, if I remember correctly.
So Fuka's gonna find out what it is, and
Didn't
that's
your
gonna happen.
parents pass away about 10 years ago? A persona is like a mirror, which means a persona user can never escape their true self. But no matter what, I won't leave you.
You know, it's kind of interesting. It's a mirror, persona user, but the difference with my character is that he uses many personas, so he hides he truly is behind all these personas. And that's why he's able to like become friends with everybody as long as he hangs out with them enough. But in reality, that's not who he really is. Oh, that's deep. Not as deep.
Because we're friends, right?
Since a fate bond formed between Pharos and me.
Good night.
What a creepy little kid. I can hear people talking. Wow. We have exams starting tomorrow, and they're cumulative, so it's hard to remember everything.
You know what?
What if I fail again? I really wish the school would stop posting our names with our scores.
Yep.
Right? It's embarrassing if we're near the bottom of the list. Smart people like Kirijo wouldn't get it, though. If she wouldn't get it, first bell is rung.
Attention, please.
Summer vacation, the hottest year. Let's go. I'm feeling sleepy. I'll close my eyes for a few minutes. Stay awake.
Why?
Academics. Attention, one of you is failing the fuck out of this class. Not me, because I'm cheating. There's like literally nothing to do because of exam. Wait, I literally can't do anything. I actually can't do a single thing. Courage, maybe? Are we serious? Out of all things. I don't know what else I can do. Maybe I could have went to the library to study, maybe. It's okay. We'll get courage to level 6 and then everything is academics. Academics or nothing.
Welcome back.
Oh. What's happening? Am I getting kicked? Holy.
What's wrong? You all hungry or something?
Not really.
Okay. Why are we all sitting down not talking? What? Hello? This is so awkward. An awkward silence fills the room.
You know, it's almost summer break.
Oh yeah, it is, huh?
Vote kick
Does
initiated.
anyone have any plans?
Why is this so
I
awkward?
wish I could go to the beach. Hot sand, cool breeze, babes in bikinis. Man, a break like that sure would be nice. Somewhere in the south, where the water is crystal clear. But starting tomorrow, we gotta get through our exams. Oh man, this sucks.
I'm sure you'll be fine, but it would be nice to go somewhere with beautiful beaches, like Okinawa.
This game would be so fun to play if I was still in high school, bro. Like, playing this game and then having homework or something like that. It would take so long to beat this game. But, like, it would be so much more relatable because I'm, like, having to finish everything, take exams while they're taking exams. It'd be a vibe. It'd be a vibe.
Well, it's not Okinawa, but how about Yakushima?
Oh, the beach!
Mr. Chairman, I didn't realize you were here.
I happen to be in the area, so I thought I'd drop by and tell you my schedule for next week. Oh, Hirinjo-kun, your father will be vacationing in Yakushima
Games
during
is
the break.
relatable. I played through Persona 5 my junior year.
He will?
Junior year, and I also wanted to romance a teacher. In real life? Holy! Did you do it? Say, in middle school, I had a female teacher and a male teacher. The male was a coach that did that with the students. They both got fired. I don't know if they got anything else on top of that, probably. And then one of my coaches also got caught watching Korn in class. Like, in class, Korn on his screen. He was a coach, big dude, had a wife. It was like, what are we doing, bro? No, she was married with like 6 kids. Loved that woman. No.
You'll all
We had a
have some
sub get
time
caught
off
watching
after
TV class, too.
exams, right? Why don't you go and get a
Why?
nice change of scenery?
Seriously? We're gonna go on a trip? Yes!
Teachers are
Beaches
subs.
and bikinis.
The teachers is weird.
Beaches and bikinis.
Beaches and bikinis? This guy.
How about it, Hirijo-kun?
Well, my father is a busy man. I don't want to ruin his vacation.
Why so hesitant? No father would be upset with a daughter who came all that way to see him. You've all done a great job. You deserve to relax for a while. And we already know when the next operation will be, so I think it'll be fine.
I don't know.
Senpai, I'm begging ya.
All right. I guess everyone needs a break now and then. Let's do it.
The beach, huh? I should design a special training regimen.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Oh, I need to go buy a swimsuit.
Hey, don't worry. I got one you can borrow.
Nice try.
Are you going to swim too, Mr. Chairman?
I'm afraid I can't. I'll turn to dust if I'm exposed to sunlight.
What?
Wait, seriously?
Don't be
No!
stupid.
Kirijo-senpai, wait up!
She has a problem with her dad.
I just wanted to say sorry about the other day. I might have gotten a little carried away.
Don't worry about it. In a way, it's only logical that we go to Yakushima. The chairman said that no one who was responsible for the accident survived, but there is one who did.
Her dad.
What? There is?
My father.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Now we know. It's all coming together now.
Hello.
You won't be able to go if you don't score well on your exams. Since everyone is here, why don't you have the third years overlook your studies? Bruh. Alright, I'll let the other second years know too. With a ferry trip to the Yakushima on the line, I hope you perform very well on your exams. Get it? Ferry?
I'm fine
The whole
helping out
gang.
with studying, but wouldn't it be easier to focus without the distraction?
They say studying with others grants benefits that can't be found alone.
Hey, so if we flunk the exams, are we really gonna have to stay behind? Tell me that's a joke.
It's no joke. As students, studying is our top priority. Failure will result in consequences.
Well, I'm not too worried about that. Not naming names here, but don't get in the way, Junpei.
What happened to not naming names? I guess if the fate of my trip depends on it, I don't really have a choice. I'll show you. I'll prove just how serious I am about Yakushima.
Man, stop says I hit a tough question.
What's the matter? Something you need help with?
This vocabulary, give me a good word.
Scintillating.
Scintillating.
It can refer to either a literal sparkle or a metaphorical brilliance.
Learn your vocab. Or, instead of going to Yakushima, you're going to Yaku-see me back at the dorm. Yakushima? Yaku-see me? Maybe that one's a little forced.
Wisecracks from Junpei are one thing. I didn't account for this.
You didn't account for this? He
Maybe
always
he's
been
trying
doing that.
to test our ability to concentrate? Yeah, I suppose that's not likely.
Mikutsuki-san's one up in me. I've gotta think of a killer comeback.
Stop getting distracted. You need to concentrate on your studies.
Junpei,
She's
bro.
right. Gotta focus. Let's keep at it.
First, focus hard, and I couldn't hear anything else. 3? Holy! I am now smart.
Are you struggling with memorization? Nothing beats repeating it until you know it by heart.
Beats? Heart? Not bad, Kirito-kun.
What? No, that was not my intent with that statement.
I'm a
Well, if
juice
you're
you.
blown out of the race,
You're not
then I
juicing
win,
nothing.
Hands down. Kirijo-senpai defeated.
This is giving me a headache.
Defeat.
Despite the diversions, I'd say that was productive. Keep it up so we can all go to Yakushima together.
Alright, it's exam days. We got exams. July 7th exams. Hold on, I'm cheating so hard. I gotta get ready. Wait. All right, we're good. Lock in. First semester final exam begins today and will last for 5 days. Lock in. Lock in. Lock in. Lock in. I got a cheat with superb efficiency. Yeah, whoa. Dousing. Okay. I have a feeling this is the right answer. Next. July 15th, an error in translation. I'm gonna lie, I'm bored of Persona 5. It makes sense, Shark. I have a feeling this is the right answer. You gotta like do a bunch of stuff. Deadlock and Persona are completely different games. This game, it's way more about, you know, story, character development. That just seems familiar. It's too chill. Yeah, these games are like really chill. It's like you can hang out and listen to this in the background of a stream or watch it if you're interested in what's happening, but it's not like gonna challenge you really at all, really. Who designed the prototype for the katana? Terra no Mazakate. Yeah, yeah. Feel like I tried live maxing in game instead of doing it IRL. Ooh, I mean, yeah, you're right. She's familiar. And the error in the sentence, what kind is it? Comma splice, right? Ooh. Yeah. I do like watching though because I can do other stuff. Yep.
This is Elizabeth
it's like a good thing to watch. I like playing them. So as long as you guys like watching it, bro, I'm chilling. Like it's good to like see y'all's thoughts on like what just happened and like we vibe out to the music. That's good.
I'm calling in regard to a recent change in Tartarus.
Ooh,
it
map
seems
change.
That a path that had been blocked off is now open.
Ooh.
I thought it prudent to inform you.
Ooh.
Well, I wish you a safe journey.
Ooh. Previously blocked out paths. Neto, I should check out Tartarus sometime. Yo, what's up? Thank God today's the last day of exams. Yeah, it's not a bad game, just not for me. Yeah, I get you. I get you, Shark. Attention span, TikTok brain. I can't wait to let some steam. You gotta let loose during summer, you know? I'm gonna try out some other Game Pass stuff. Have you played Expedition 33? You might like that game more. Last day of exams. Question is just too easy. My pen won't stop moving. Let's go! It's beach time.
Finally over. The sun is shining bright.
So, how'd you do?
You are not gonna believe this. I aced PE.
Well, that pretty much answers my question.
Whatever. A real man doesn't dwell in the past. I'm already thinking ahead to the blue skies of Yakushima.
Oh yeah, that's coming up soon, huh? Are you all ready to go?
How about you? I'm ready.
Me? Not really. Oh, sorry, I don't sound very enthusiastic, do I? Hey, how about we stop somewhere on the way back? I don't have practice today.
Sounds good. Where we going? If you need to buy a swimsuit, I'd be happy to help.
Very funny. All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna go grab my stuff from the locker room. Oh, I'll invite Fuka too.
BB Glazed and E33, no? Nah, it's actually a good game. It's another turn-based game. It has...
I know, I've been kind of a dick lately.
It has more of like a straightforward story. And the combat is more interactive, so you can parry. So the combination of you being able to interact in the combat and it being like more straightforward into story instead of all this miscellaneous, we got a month to do whatever we want, let me go level up my charm, right? It's like, let's go through this area, let me kill this enemy to get a better weapon, continue the story. It's more brain rot focused. A little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say it's for people with brain rot fully, but it's definitely better than Persona, because Persona requires a whole lot of like life maxing in game, which is like a time consuming thing to do. But I like it.
So, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
All right, let's put this whole thing behind us. Cool? All right, let's get out of here.
And we're all going together. See, this is tough.
What should I do now?
Bro, this makes me think, like, I wish I had friends that were more into the stuff that I was into in high school, that I enjoyed hanging out with, bro. Like, I enjoy working out, watching anime, playing video games, and I didn't really have anybody in high school. I had one person, but then he started doing drugs, and he cared way more about having sex with girls than talking about anime and all that stuff. I wish I had like a full group of just people that like were like, it's okay. It's just like One Piece. I would like One Piece a lot more. Like Persona games would be even more relatable, but it is what it is. I still enjoy this game.
Take it down a notch, will you?
You bounce back from things so quickly, Junpei-kun.
Know it. Oh, hey, Sonata-san's here. Don't see that every day.
Ikutsuki-san called me. I think he wants to talk about a new candidate.
Does that mean another person is going to join?
Maybe.
Let's go. Not you. Get her out of here.
What's wrong, Natsuki-chan?
Do you think you can stay after school with me for a mandatory study session? There's like no one. Oh wait, are you about to head out for the day? Okay then, never mind.
Yeah, never your mind. Don't talk to Fuka.
Right.
No, Fuka. She locked you into Tartarus.
See you all back at the door
Bro,
later.
yo, this is pissing me off. She's not your friend, bro.
I'm really surprised at how much she's changed.
Ah, friendship. How beautiful. Adolescence is such a wonderful thing. So full of vibrancy.
Mr. Chairman?
The heck is that?
Oh, hello. I just stopped by to pick someone up. I might as well introduce you to him now.
Hello.
Ken Amada.
Oh, Amada-kun. What are you doing here?
Play Metaphor shit way better.
He doesn't leave.
Bro, you think Metaphor better than Expedition 33?
Oh, I heard about that. Something about your parents, right?
It used to only be me
Okay,
and my
so you
mom.
should play Expedition more.
She got in an accident. So now it's just me. It happened 2 years ago.
Right now, one of his distant relatives is paying for his school expenses. But that doesn't mean he should stay at the elementary school dorm all by himself, right? So I decided to move him to your dorm, just for the summer.
To our dorm? Do you really think that's a good idea?
Why, of course. He has the potential.
Expedition 33, the best RPG game past decade.
He's the new candidate?
That's right.
Maybe.
But as you can see, he's still just an elementary school student.
It's not. I don't think
so
it's
it's
better
only a
than
possibility.
Persona 5 though.
Are you Akihiko Sanada-senpai?
Yeah, you're cooked. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I've heard a lot about you. You've never lost a boxing match. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
E33 murders B5 story graphics, in my opinion. Well, definitely graphics. This is supposed to be like an anime game. And story? Nah, there's just more story in Persona 5. We already had this discussion. I'm not gonna continue to have the discussion with you, man. Persona 5 is better as a story. Exorcist 3, better combat, better graphics, but they have very similar levels of good music. So, hello, summer vacation. Akishida, here we come. I can't wait for Monday. Maybe I ought to hit up Paul and Mama to get some stuff for the trip.
Yes,
Bro,
precisely.
P5 stories, adults do bad stuff. Let's make them turn good. It's also the moral of the story of taking the mask off and revealing your true self. Let's change their hearts. Also, change it within yourself. Change it within yourself. Also, so lame. That's literally not lame. Expedition 33 is a girl whose brother died. You know how many brothers have died, bro? Nah. You know how many brothers have died? Too many. The twists are way better in E33. I mean, yeah, but the thing about Expedition 33, it was brand new. It's like a very brand new concept. Persona has already had the concept, and there's way more build-up in Persona 5. Like, there's way more time for you to be like, oh wait, no, we know this because of how he's talking here. Expedition 3, you're like, what's happening? You, like, nobody understood what Expedition 33 was until they played it, because it was brand new. You could tell Persona 5 was gonna have twists, but it was gonna be obvious because of all the time that you had in the game to like talk to everything. They didn't hide anything in Persona 5. The main enemy got caught by Morgana because of, did someone say pancakes? I'm not having this discussion, bro. Here, take this. Black sword? What? This is my reward. You all deserve a little something after studying hard for exams. Have you heard the antique shop at Plymouth called Mayoido?
That'd be correct.
It just reopened today, actually. If you bring that to the shop, I'm sure they'll be of great help to you. The black sword.
Why?
Antique shop gonna help us. Am I missing something? I can't quite explain it very well myself. Better to hear from the shop owner than from me. Well then, I'll let you take care of it from here. It's how they caught and catch you. Because of that. The antique shop in Pelham Mall. Chairman suggested I pay them a visit. I'll head over there now. Listen, man. You wouldn't get it. You literally just wouldn't get it. I didn't even know this was the place. How they'll be able to help me, I don't know. Guess, and also the connections between every character is deeper. Like CL has a husband, but you can kind of romance her. Like there's no character development, bro. It's all the main story. Like it has a better twist, but the story overall, like the connection overall as well, not as good. I'm so serious. How to be able to help me, I don't know. Guess the only way left tonight. Let's find out.
Welcome.
Miyota shopkeeper. How are you, lady? Are you in high school and you're shopping here? Well, take your time and look around. Seems this lady owns the antique shop. I should show her the black sword that I just got from
What?
Mikasa. What is that? Here, let me have a look.
I see.
I see. So you're one of those Kurosawa was talking about. This is but a humble antique shop. Having that said, I believe I can be of some assistance to you. As long as I have something like this, black sword, that is. This here is a base model of crafting weapons. By fusing it with various materials, you can craft special equipment. I can help with the crafting process, but you'll have to collect the required materials yourself. These base materials can be found in places that tend to be quite unwelcoming. That's why it'll be up to you to collect them.
By the way,
Also, if you find any gems on the like, I'll be willing to exchange them for some of my wares here. Well then, go ahead and have a gander. You can now travel to my own and take item fusions involve expanding one weapon part and a handful of required materials to create a unique piece of equipment. In the item exchange, the proprietor will take in a gemstone to offer your hands in exchange for items. Materials that are used in items users can often be found in Tartarus, so you'll be able to collect them as you explore. Hop on Evil West. I'm so good. Trade
I
card.
got my hands on some pretty interesting wares. Feel free to look around.
Where the hell do I get Topaz?
The more I study, the more I realize there's so much I don't know. But don't you worry. I'll make sure your equipment is done right.
Divine Grace could be good. Wait, oh, I can't like.
I'm sure this will prove to be useful.
Where the freak do I get Topaz?
You won't find another shop with wares as exquisite as mine. I'm the only one around here who can tell how valuable these are. Which one?
What the?
I'm sure this will prove to be useful.
Yeah, whatever. Persona should be multiplayer, and that would make sense. It wouldn't make any sense. There are fighting games. Oh, and like I guess it's technically game.
Wielding a persona is powerful,
so I have like
but it's not without
infinite
risk.
money and level 90%.
Please don't overexert yourself and get injured.
What? How did that even happen?
I'm sure this will prove to be useful.
Okay.
Officer Kurosawa and I go way back. He and my neighbors usually keep me in the loop about everything going on. Everything good? Come again.
I don't know if I need any of that. Let's do it. At the start of the game, it was like you can claim stuff, and I pressed it and got hell items, money, and persona. Well, that, of course, that's gonna ruin your game. It makes it even easy. The game's already easy, but that just makes it to where like you're not working for anything. Oh well. Ruined experience. It happens. You should do a Pokemon Nuzlocke. I'm good, yeah, but like, how was I supposed to know it was gonna do that? Maybe look it up. Maybe read what it said about giving you stuff. I don't know. I never had that problem. Post exam break begins today. Almost time. Come to think of it, the crafted planet on the rooftop should be it. Hey, y'all. There's go check them. Holy, everything's happening at the same time. I was cleaning my room and the box I moved gave me all that. Bruh. Think of the content though. I'm so good. Hey! We're about to max her out. Let's go. But why'd I got a bunch of books here now? Have they been there? Maya isn't in the area. Mystery lighting, gold Tatsuya. A great colored sky stretches as far as the eye can see. A barren wasteland lies before me. Maya is staring into the distance. I saw you log on, so I brought you here with magic. Sorry, I should apologize. About what? About all the stuff I said. Maya seems troubled. Remember how I said I would send our chat log to admins before? I don't think I will. Now they'll end it for sure. Yeah, pretty much, huh? Maya seems genuinely sorry. She's fidgeting in the sand with her feet. I read over our chat log and I didn't like what I saw. What kind of person plays MMO just to bitch about coworkers? You shouldn't have had to put up with me doing that, I'm sorry. Some teacher I am, right? I know, it'll look like I'm chickening out and stuff, but the thing about quitting MMO today, I don't think I'll see you again. I'll miss you. That's Riz, that's Riz, that's Riz. I'll totally miss you more. Maya seems happy. Since no one can see my face on the interwebs, I said some pretty mean stuff. I just have to look at myself in the mirror and make it right. Yeah, right. I never would have figured this out without your help. That you taught me to be thoughtful even when I'm not around people. Maya really trusts me. I feel like we're growing closer. My teacher, but we'll never know. She'll never know that she talked to me.
I am thou. Thou art I.
And I would never talk to her again.
Finally matured.
Dang. It's been a long time coming. I will never talk to the hermit again.
We now bestow upon thee the ultimate form of the hermit within thyself.
Let's go. That's the third person we got maxed out. The hermit social link reaches maximum level. You can now fuse Arahabaki, the aboriginal god. Well, I better go now. I drew something in the sand for you. Check the ground once I log off, okay? It's kind of embarrassing, but I worked hard on it. If you upload a screenie to your cell phone, you can keep it always. I don't ever cry during romance movies, but my eyes will be red tonight. Remember, let's think positive. GG Satya, thanks for everything. I player signed off. I looked at the area where Maya was standing. A message written in the sand. I read downward. I love you. Screenshot data. I sent a screen cap to my phone. I have to take a moment to reminisce of my memories of Maya. I logged off the game. Dang, bruh. My teacher was in love with me. Ain't nothing going on. Or making that John his screensaver. Hell nah. So dance if you want to go ahead. Get my plants. So damn, I don't have anything to plant. And then we could probably buy something from the station, get some more SP in us. Man, it's so, I got so much money from the last time I was in the place. Like, I'm just getting so much done.
Marvelous. I'm looking.
Let's go.
Here are my requests. By all means, if I make, I will await. I can say, I will await. Oh, I will await a report of success.
All right. I've actually done quite a bit.
A shame.
Man, I'm never asking you on a date ever, bro. F you, bro. F you, bro. Again. Na, 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 na. Hey. I can't go here either? Yo. What do I do? To see if there's anything I can buy for the dungeon, maybe?
Well, it's got some new things in stock.
Oh, hold on, wait. This is actually pretty good.
You got the time.
122. That's pretty high.
Take as long as you need.
Oh, hold on.
That what you want? All right then. Take as long as you need. That what you want? Great. It's all yours.
Well, I can't buy them for anybody else.
Take as long as you need.
Take
as long as you need.
Those are so situational. There's like no point in buying those.
Take as long as you need. What are you looking for?
I am now poor.
What'll it be? What are you looking for?
Assassin's Blade? Oh, that could have been good, maybe. What's up, Black Ninja? 8 Persona got fire soundtracks. Yes, it does. It sure does. Bam, 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 bam. You
finished? Be seeing you.
Is the cat in Persona a human or is he just a cat? I know the cat has a human form, at least in Royal, but I think it is just a cat. Actually, just a full-out cat. How's the playthrough been? I gotta join your DC. Type !! Discord. You can join my Discord. But, the playthrough's been good. I'm having a blast. Yeah, I'm not reading.
Sorry.
But yeah, if y'all join my Discord, you'll get notified whenever I go live or upload a video.
Are you accepting a Let's hear the Very.
Jack's gloves. I'm not gonna lie. I'm never putting him on my squad. I hate to break it. I hate to break it. I literally hate to break it, but that's not happening. Okay, is there anything to look at here on the computer? Okay, wait. Maybe there's something inside of the club that I can buy from the doodad, and then come on, give me something. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be so poor. We can use this to level something up, learn something about somewhere. Let me see what this URL leads to. Effective security measures online. This seems to be a website that helps with training security team members. There's a list of self-defense videos here, each with a detailed text explanation. I guess I'll start with the most watched video. So dance. I watched how to do videos on subduing violent individuals. I learned the importance of having the will to stand up to an enemy. Maybe I can use what I learned in our fights in Tartarus. Learned how to use ambush? You can now ambush enemies while exploring. When ambushing an enemy, you'll trigger chance encounters regardless of the direction the enemy is facing. Press and hold R2 to dash for a set distance to enter the assault state. By pressing square while in this state, you will ambush the enemy. Triggering an encounter from behind will slightly increase Ace's theurgy gauge and may distress the enemy at the beginning of the... Oh my gosh, that is so useful! Wait, that is so useful! What? Show me your true form. Come on, that's a persona thing. Come on now. The trip to Yakuza begins today and will last 4 days, 3 nights. Yeah, we're zooming through the month of July. I need to get ready. Here we go! So dance.
Whoa! Looks like we're finally coming up on the island! Hell yeah! Yeah! Ku! She! Ma!
Jeez, you sound like a little kid.
Aw, he's just having fun. Personally, I'm ready for some training.
I do wonder, what kind of flora and fauna live there?
Holy aura.
Wow. It's like we're in an episode of the lifestyles of the rich and fabulous.
Welcome back, milady.
Holy.
We won't be here long, but I'll be relying on you during our stay.
You have maids?
And you must be her associates from school, correct? Welcome to the Kirijo Vacation Home. Please, follow me.
Associates?
Dude, real life maids.
I knew she was from an important family, but this definitely proves it.
It's good to see you.
Father!
I heard the news. There isn't much here, but make yourselves comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Oh, she money.
So, was that
her father?
She give me some.
It was so intense. And what's up with them wearing a suit in this kind of heat?
What's wrong with that?
We won't be here long, but make yourself at home.
Sweet! This is gonna rock! Hey, wanna go to the beach? It's literally
Where's
right
our
there.
chairman at?
Oh, man! I'm so ready for this! Come on, let's go!
What? We just got here. I mean, it's gonna take time to get changed and stuff.
What am I and
I'm
Fuka
not gonna
looking at
waste
right
a
now?
single minute.
What are we looking at? Is he wearing a Speedo? What the heck?
Sandals on, giving my feet a chance to.
Of course he's wearing a Speedo.
Yep, summer's here.
Darn. There's nothing out there I can use as a marker. Too bad. I was hoping for a good swim.
Whoa, what's with that swimsuit?
What do you mean?
Lost all his aura. He has mad confidence.
Swim briefs? Nobody wants to see your junk.
But they're better for swimming.
You gotta be kidding. We come all the way to the beach, and you're gonna train?
What's wrong with that? You got a better idea?
Damn right I do! It's summertime at the beach! I've got the perfect activity.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Oh, hey! They're here!
Holy, you gotta make a whole animation for it. Bro, Takaba, you guys are trolling. Y'all don't think Takaba's good at romance.
What are you looking at?
Say hello to contestant number 1, Yukari Takeba! That's quite a bold design. She's really strutting her stuff. Archery practice must do wonders for the self-esteem.
If no one seems to have claimed the umbrellas around here, do you think we can go ahead and use them?
Ooh, next up is contestant number 2, Fuka Yamagishi.
Holy anime, bro.
Wow, Fuka, do you wear swimsuits often, or? Oh, whoops. Was it something I said? Didn't mean to embarrass you.
It'd be so much better if this was college, bro.
Hey, cut it out with that laugh, you creep.
And for our final contestant of the day.
What happened? Is something wrong?
Wow, Kirijo-senpai, you're so beautiful.
Yeah, your skin is totally flawless. Hey, did you put on sunscreen already?
No, not yet.
Well, we can't have that. You gotta put some on right now.
Oh, can I help?
That's okay. I'll do it myself.
Yo, dude. So, which one's your type?
Oh. This is how we're doing it. Hey, I'm loyal. Since the beginning, I said the best romance is Yukari, bro. Even though I like longer hair, Yukari's the one. Facts.
Just as I thought. Man, this is great. I'm in heaven. All right.
But I did absolutely nothing.
Time for a swim.
Or maybe that's gonna like push me in that direction. Maybe.
Oh, I'm not letting you win that easy.
I feel uneasy. It's like someone is watching me.
Whoa, it's cold.
Somebody's watching him. The uneasy feeling went away.
What are you standing over there for? The water's fine.
Huh? What is that? Uneasy feeling? Wait, what? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, how? All right.
It's a lovely place, wouldn't you agree? When I was younger, I used to come here fairly often, but I haven't had the chance to visit since starting high school.
Holy voice lines.
I'm glad everyone's having fun out there. Our operations during the dark hour are taxing on both mind and body. You should relax a little. Rest up. If you need to take a break, the best spot to kick back is underneath the parasol.
Drift. What is happening? What's all of this? What's going on? Hello?
Here we are on summer vacation, but I still have to deal with Junpei's usual antics.
Help us, please! Junpei-kun won't stop!
Alley-oop! Take this and this! Come on! Water fights are pretty much a given at the beach. Nice and cool, ain't it?
Hey, knock it off! You're taking this too far! Okay, fine. You asked for it.
Woohoo! Thanks, Kirijo-senpai. Right now, I feel like I could die with no regrets.
All right, well, that's the full squad. They're just hanging out, yapping it up. Check by the pier for what's looking at me? The white sand on the beach is so fine and feels nice underneath my feet. Come to think of it, Elizabeth asked me to get her something that feels like the ocean. Elizabeth might be happy if I gave her a pretty she stuff from the beach. Okay. Next. Watching the waves roll onto the shore is somewhat calming. Come to think of it, Elizabeth asked me to get her something that feels like the ocean. There's some seaweed swirling around the waters at my feet. Maybe Elizabeth would like it. Strange seaweed. I'm about to get hella items when I get back to Elizabeth, bro. Okay? She wanted some wood, so I give her some wood. I wonder if this drift would wash the shore from a distant place. But I think Elizabeth asked me to get her something that feels like the ocean. She might be happy if I give her some driftwood. Yeah. Waves that lap on the shore are sparkling and shimmering. Come to think of it, Liz asked me to give her something that feels like the ocean. There's a tiny crab walking beneath the water. Liz might be happy if I gave it to her. Small crab. Okay, what is my my purpose? My purpose? What is my purpose? Hello? Boat. There's a boat docked at the pier. It'd be nice to row a boat into this vast ocean. Nah, no, it would. I would never want to row a boat in the ocean, bro, ever. Dude, where are you going? They say never play alone at the beach. Okay, what do you want me to do? I've done literally everything. I've done literally everything. We're leaving already? This is the beach we're talking about here. You know what that means. Cute girls in bikinis. Yeah, I think that's it. See you later, then. Junpei's the one that's making sure I'm having a good time.
Even the food was fancier than I could have imagined. I've never had to think about the proper way to use a fork and knife so much.
I can't eat anymore. Not even another bite of caviar.
No one said you had to try to eat all of it.
Well, I'm sure we're all exhausted from the trip. Why don't you go rest up in your rooms?
Okay. Something about to happen? Oh.
Oh, are you not coming with us, Senpai?
Yes, I'll join you in just a minute. It's been a while.
Ooh.
I'm glad that you're in good health.
That eye patch doesn't make sense like that.
Our guests are residents of the dorm, I presume.
I'm sorry for bringing such a crowd.
At least I don't think it does.
I heard you told them about the incident. Why did you hide it for so long?
I wasn't hiding it.
I've told you time and again, none of the blame is yours.
But...
Two in harmony surpasses one in perfection. That has been our guiding principle since the Kirijo family separated from the Nanjo group.
Nanjo?
You must learn to trust in others, Mitsuru. There are things in this world that cannot be accomplished alone, no matter how many sacrifices you make.
I understand.
You accessed our database, didn't you? That brings me to my next question. Why didn't you ask me directly, instead of using this trip as an excuse?
I'm sorry.
Bring them here, all of them.
Ooh.
I have no intention of concealing the truth from them. I've made preparations to disclose everything.
Everything.
Story!
There's a girl named Takiba in your group, correct? For her to awaken to her power, it must be fate.
Father?
What does that mean? She's special?
From what I understand, Mitsuru has already given you the short version.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's true. We adults are to blame. If I could have atoned for it with my life, I would have done so. Now I have no choice but to rely on you. What my father wanted to create with those monsters' power, it was a time manipulation device.
TMD.
That's what he was trying to do?
Imagine if you could control the flow of time, eliminate unwanted events before they occur. With such a device, you could shape the future to your liking.
That's why the rewind feature is in this game.
Insane.
Unfortunately, under my father's direction, The research began to stray from its original goal. In his later years, my father seemed to have only nihilism in his heart. In fact, his madness may have resulted from his struggle to break free from that. It's only natural that you want to know the truth, and it's my duty to tell you.
Do it!
What's this?
This is the only existing footage of the accident, recorded by a scientist who was at the scene.
A video recording?
I can only hope that this recording reaches someone with a conscience.
Wait a sec.
My employer has become obsessed with a loathsome idea. This experiment should never have been conceived. I'm afraid the damage will be staggering. At this point, it's unavoidable. But I didn't have a choice. If I didn't do this, it could have destroyed the entire world.
Destroyed the entire world?
Whoever is watching this, please, I need you to listen to me very carefully. The shadows that were amassed here have been dispersed as a result of the explosion. In order to end this, you have no choice but to eliminate all of them. I am the one responsible for this. I knew the risks, but I was blinded by the promise of success, and so I chose to continue without objections. I am responsible.
Why did they use that angle? That's a weird angle.
Huh?
Her dad.
Dad?
You mean that was...
Father.
His name was Eiichiro Takeba. He was the head researcher at the time, and a very talented man. But we are the ones who are responsible. We pushed him to continue the research. The Kirijo group is to blame for his death.
Are you...
So that means my dad caused it all. The Dark Hour, Tartarus, the people who died.
Ole.
It was all his fault. So is that why you were hiding this? Because you felt sorry for me? Is that it?
No, Takeba, I
don't want your pity!
Ooh!
Takeba!
Shouldn't someone go after her?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm the leader.
Will you go?
Why me? Just let her be. Why, dude? I'm just chilling. I'm literally... Can I put my music back in? You guys are wasting my time, dude. Sure.
Thank you.
I believed in him for so long.
Dang.
This is too much. Remember what I told you at the hospital? How my dad died when I was little?
Mm-hmm.
You understand now, right? He died in that incident.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew the truth, so there were all sorts of rumors. Because he was in charge of the research team, people were really mean to me and my mom. We even had to move a few times.
That must have been tough.
Yeah. But all this time, I kept telling myself it wasn't his fault. I loved him a lot, and I believed he'd never do anything wrong. I received a letter back in spring. It was from him, written 10 years ago.
Dang.
It cracked me up, because even though he said to my family, it was more or less all about me. And that only made me believe in him more. When I found out I had a special power, I thought it was fate. I was scared, but I thought if I cooperated with the Kirijo group, I might find out what really happened. That's why I agreed to fight using my persona. But now I can see it was all for nothing.
That's not true.
You're just trying to make me feel better. Reality sure is harsh, huh? I tried so hard to fight my fear. And this is what I get. And you know, I think maybe I was jealous, too. I mean, after all that's happened. Why does Kirijo-senpai's father get to live?
Jealousy.
I'm a horrible person, aren't I?
Yeah. In real life, I would probably say that's how life is, but I feel like in this game, it'd be better to say don't blame yourself. Because I think you should always take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. If you don't take responsibility, then you lose control of what you can become. You know what I'm saying? So anything that happens in your life is a result of things that you have done or experienced. Right? Now, you can't control other people, but you can control what you think. And if you didn't think of doing this one thing instead of doing this thing, right? Then a different outcome would have happened. But because you thought in this specific way and went down this specific line of actions, this outcome became a reality. Facts. I'm freaking Houdini. Okay, well, that just ruined the moment. All right, lucky.
Wow. I don't know how you do it. You're always so calm. Nothing ever phases you. Did you really think I could just be cheered up so easily? You think you know me? You don't know anything. I'm sorry. I can barely make sense of all of this. I'm so afraid. I just feel so lost now. Just tell me. What am I supposed to do now?
These are all really good options, no cap. Don't lose hope. It's okay not to know. Stay with us and fight. It's okay not to know.
Huh? You really are something else.
She's gonna say that regardless of what I
Sorry for
picked.
acting like this. I know you've lost your parents too. I'll be alright. I'm used to dealing with stressful situations. Anyway, thanks for listening. Let me guess. Senpai asked you to bring me back, right?
I wanted to help. Oh, I'm rising!
Aren't you a smooth talker? Thanks, though.
Kari's laughing, though her eyes are red from all the crying. Though. Yo. Yo. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, is who you pick on the beach determine who you romance here?
Hey!
Aww.
Yeesh, what's taking you guys so long? Everybody was getting worried. It's almost the dark hour, so we gotta head back.
Huh? Oh yeah, that's right.
Did I miss something?
No, I just almost forgot. It doesn't matter where you are when the dark hour comes.
W manipulation. Come on. I got my charm up.
Sense. Even I remembered that.
I got my charm up.
You know, I've been thinking lately. Once you awaken to the power of Persona, you remember everything that happens during the dark hour. In exchange for power, you can no longer look away from the things you don't want to see. We can't escape reality, can we?
Nope. See, like the story, the message that
just gotta stay strong, huh?
the message that Persona games give you is way more valuable than what you get in Expedition 33. The story in Expedition 33 is very like, whoa, out of nowhere. I didn't expect that. But the life lessons and relatability that Persona is It's like everybody puts on a persona in real life, but if you take off the mask, beneath there's a deeper trauma or something that every person has that they just don't share to like people in real life or out in public. So it's like that's why these games are better. They're just better. This is a good moment. That's a good storytelling right here.
Yeah, guess so. All right then, let's head on back.
Somebody's watching me. It feels like I'm being watched again. Yep. I decided to head back anyways. It's day 2 of our vacation in Yakushima.
The air is so fresh. I never thought a walk in the woods could be so enjoyable. You can't do this in Iwatodai. Oh, did you hear about Junpei-kun yesterday? He was acting so indecent, I didn't know how to react. It's probably a good thing we came out here by ourselves.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Mitsuru speaking. One moment. Let me switch over to speakerphone. Go ahead.
Well, I'm at the lab here on the island, and a machine that was considered inoperable suddenly left the facility on its own.
A machine? What kind of machine is it? I need more information to locate anything other than shadows.
It's a type of combat vehicle. An anti-shadow weapon, to be precise.
A combat vehicle? You mean like a tank? We gotta tell the others. Where's my phone?
We're not currently with everyone, so it might take some time for us to regroup.
I see. In any case, I want you to handle this as soon as you can. I'm on my way there now.
If we can't secure the target, do we have permission to destroy it?
I highly doubt you will be able to destroy it.
What? Then how are we supposed to stop it?
Just do your best. I'll call you again later.
Man, what? No. Freaking controller, bro.
Great. No one's answering.
Don't worry about it. Let's go back and get our equipment. Once we do that, we can have Yamagishi's persona scan the area. Although searching the whole island won't be easy.
Ugh, the one time we need them and they're nowhere to be found.
Huh? The girl's not up yet? Man, those sleepyheads. The ocean's not gonna sit around and wait for us, you know?
Once the sun sets, the water temperature drops, tiring you out much faster.
Huh? I guess. That's really what you're worried about?
Junpei, that reminds me. Didn't one of the maids give you something as we were leaving?
You saw that, huh? One of the maids gave me a letter. Oh, man. What if it's a confession of love?
Nah, probably not.
It sure is tough being this popular.
You're a moron.
Okay, let's see here. It says, we've gone to see the Jomon cedar tree. Huh?
This looks like Yamagishi's handwriting.
Oh, man! We're at an island resort in the middle of summer. Why are they going to the beach? That's just not right.
Well, it is your fault.
What do you mean? I just wanted to lighten the mood yesterday.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, it doesn't matter now anyways. We're on our own. Just the guys. This is the frontier of romance. We're bound to meet someone new out here. We'll call this Operation Yakushima Beach Fling.
I don't think there's anybody else on this
You
island.
mean we're gonna pick up girls?
How about it, Sonata-san? With you on the squad, we're guaranteed to succeed.
I should have known this was your plan. What do you think about this?
I don't care. This dude doesn't care about anything, bro. Let's begin the operation.
Then I'm appointing him our leader, as usual.
What? Why?
You said it yourself. This is an operation.
Oh man, that's bullshit. You better take this seriously. It's an important operation.
There's nobody on this island, bruh. Okay, there's actually people on this island. Are you here to pick up chicks? You're doing it wrong. You have to be more subtle or it'll put them off. I'm here today with the intention of getting a girlfriend too. That makes us rivals, doesn't it? Are you serious? Forest bathing is great and all, but I hate that it gets my feet dirty with mud. Can't relax on a beach like this. I think I'll take a quick shower first. Alright, we're gonna head back first and start prepping for the barbecue. Okay, thanks for walking us here. We'll join you after we take some photos. Holy. I heard there was a beach here where kids can play. I was nervous at first, but I decided to move here. Now when I see her playing so happily, it makes me glad we came. There are no other kids here. I'm going to collect pretty seashells and make a necklace.
Ooh, target sight.
Holy. Guess what?
Move in for the kill.
You're Ascendant 5. I got my Ascendant 5 rank up.
Area of expertise,
Yo,
so
you're locked
let me
in,
give you
Yuri. Who you been playing?
First off,
Wait, what do you say?
think of something.
This is my area of expertise, so let me give you some pointers first off. Think of something to talk about, something they might be interested in. Everything? You're playing everything and ranking up? That is pretty good. Or maybe it's luck.
Let's talk about something they might be interested in. Give them an easy question and get the ball rolling. That's the golden rule. Something like, where you from? Or, having fun?
Having
Once you get
fun, but I have a
started,
16
we'll
or
be going back
17
and forth
ones in
like
a
you're playing catch.
Holy 16! He turned his suit.
Alright?
Dang, your macro must be going crazy right now, Yuri.
Here we go.
Good stuff. Keep going. Don't stop. Having fun?
None of your business.
Huh? Hey, no need to be shy.
Turning 6 today, I
Why
guess.
should we tell you anything?
Why? Well, come on, we're just making conversation.
How is this like playing catch?
Holy, my career looks so good. Take a screenshot. Put it in Discord. Let me see. Fuck. My controller, bro.
So, ladies, are you in college? Or maybe you're already working?
You guys seem a little young. Are you still in high school?
Ooh. That's right. Nope, not us.
Seriously? You sure look like high schoolers.
We just
from here.
takes care of our skin.
You know,
We take care of our skin. That's what it is.
that was a lie.
Oh, really? High school kids vacationing in Yakushima? That kind of pisses me off.
What?
Sorry you feel that way. We're only here because we were invited to our friend's vacation home.
Wow. A vacation home in Yakushima? Good for your friend. We, on the other hand, had to save up our own money to come here.
Holy.
Oh, that's a pretty big accomplishment, huh?
No, not really. So what do you guys want, anyway?
Holy yeah. Oh man. That's freaking funny. Holy. Yuri, if a guy were to come and hit on you, what would be the best way for them to do it? Did you see my career? Oh, you sent it? Let me take a look. Let me take a look here. I don't know. Okay. That's valid. Oh, you sent it directly to me. Why did Premium send that there? Duck got MVP with Calico. Nice. Holy. Like, damn. It's all to die. It's like yesterday and today. You just haven't lost. Wait, you might surpass me. I'm E1 right now. Yuri, I'm literally E1. Yuri, you could literally pass me today. You could literally pass me. Have you been playing by yourself? No, I'm so far away. I can't play anymore. You're going to end the streak right now? I'm so tired. How many games you played today? You played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Played 11. 11 games? You might as well play 12. Like, 12 is a great number. You can cut it in half, so you did 6 and 6. 12 is half of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I can't. You literally can, though. I'm so tired. You can't even spell tired backwards with your eyes closed. You literally can't do that. Like, you literally can't type tired backwards with your eyes closed. I can't. Because you're not tired enough. You're literally not tired. You're actually not tired. Get on. Oh, no. Get you either. No. I'm playing Persona. I'm tired. I'm D-E-R-I-T, okay? And I'm going to eat. Lame. We came to hit on you.
What? I like your honesty.
I'm so close that you might as well just do it.
Go away if we ignore him.
Wait! Don't do that! How can you blame us for wanting to talk to such beauties?
These guys are full of shit.
That is...
Yeah, let's get out of here.
I'm not gonna lie. What that girl just said is not what a girl would ever say whenever guys are talking like that. No cap. Would never say that. Wait!
Come on, give us a chance! How about a walk on the beach?
Wow, you're annoying. See you, boys.
Yeah, you were playing catch, all right.
Hey, I did my best! And what about you, Sonata-san? If that's how you feel, then show us how it's done.
Why do I have to show you anything?
Well, you said this was an operation, didn't you? Aren't we supposed to work together in order to succeed?
Oh, he has a point there.
I guess you've got a point there. Fine, I'll give it a shot. I'm sure I'll do better than you at least. Can you give me a hand? I'll go ahead and set the pace.
And it's just gonna work. It's literally just gonna work. Come on, it's time to go home. Daddy's waiting for us. What's for dinner today? The fish Daddy caught? Yeah, all these guys are just LARPers. There's no point in talking to them.
Oh, spotted a new set of targets. What are you waiting for, Sonata-san? Show us what you got.
Just keep your mouth shut.
Hey, Nobuko. Are those boys looking at us?
Oh, yeah, they are. Wow, Yoshie. I'm surprised you could see from over there.
All right, time to get in the ring.
Time to get in the ring.
Hi there. Sorry to bother you, but I wanted to ask you something.
And what would that be?
Are you two here alone?
Are you hitting on us?
No, not at all. We just thought
Jeez.
you're bored.
Yo, all the girls in high school like him for his looks, but he has no game.
Talk or a chance meeting like this might stir things up for both of us, you know.
Isn't that what it means to hit on someone? Haven't you heard? It's lame to hit on girls at the beach nowadays.
Aw, come on. We were bored anyway.
Nah.
Besides, they look kinda cool.
Wing woman of doom.
Really, Nobuko?
Hey, how old do we look to you?
About the same age as us.
The same as you. That's crap and you know it.
They were just trying to be nice. We've actually been out of college a few years now.
Oh, you are? That's too bad.
No, wait, that's fine by us. Older women are more mature and experienced and stuff.
You know, you're a pretty smooth talker for someone so young. How old are you guys anyway?
Truth is, we're in high school.
I'll be graduating next year.
Oh gosh, that's more of an age gap than I was expecting.
Lol.
See? It's not gonna work out. Besides, I doubt you're having any fun talking to us.
Right. It's boring. Holy, bro, this character does not care about anything.
Come on, no you're not. I don't
W.
think there's anything we could chat about that you'd find interesting. Unless you want to hear me complain about my boss.
Yeah, I literally did that before.
About your boss. That might be fun.
You're not very good at lying, are you? You really don't have to try so hard.
Yoshie, don't ruin the conversation. He said it might be fun, so just play along.
Nobuko, you need to stop being so nice to everyone.
Oh, come on. It's been ages since I've done this.
You tease these kids enough. We should head back. They're gonna be waiting on us, you know.
They? You mean, you have boyfriends?
Oh, right. Sorry, forgot to mention that. Well, we gotta go now. We're meeting our boyfriends back at the villa for a barbecue. You can come if you want.
Oh. I want a barbecue. I'm down.
Bye.
I would be so down to do this in high school. Well, me now would be down to do this in high school.
What happened? We look like a bunch of idiots. And you haven't been pulling your weight either.
Bro,
Gotta come through on the next one.
we got another group of girls to talk to. Holy. We are really trying to talk to girls. Oh, it's a girl by herself, GG.
There's a woman over there all alone.
Oh, you're gonna make me go talk to her about myself?
It's unusual to find someone not in a group.
No boyfriends to be seen in the area either. I think we're in the clear. All right, time to make contact. Excuse me, miss.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Oh, she's hot. Say, you here alone?
Yeah? And I'm so bored. I've been watching you, by the way. You've been trying to pick up girls for a while. Well, how'd you do?
It was an utter failure. Freaky ass frog.
That's what I thought. You boys don't understand women at all.
Guess I can't deny that.
You, in the hat. You're way too wrapped up in yourself.
Ooh.
Shouldn't you be thinking more about how to make your partner happy?
Partner? We're using
ma'am.
part.
You and the t-shirt. You're the type that's stoic, but not very experienced with girls.
Yeah, I guess that might be true.
You seem like kind of a hassle, too. Like you're super logical about everything.
Ooh.
And you, with the long hair. I'm not sure about you.
Come on now. Hey, don't hold back. What do you mean?
I mean, you're mysterious. Like, no one can ever tell what you're really thinking.
Because so many different people are playing. I do.
Oh, you're so smart. I think you're just my type.
Holy.
Just joking. I like you a lot too.
Really?
Want me to tell you what would make me really happy?
Yes, ma'am.
Could I ask you to help me put on my sunscreen?
Holy.
What? I mean, you're all right with that?
Of course I am. I have enough for you too.
Oh man, I'm really sorry guys, but I'm not passing up this chance.
Would you two like to join too? I'll give you a good deal.
A deal?
You know that sun in the sky isn't real, right? That's an artificial sun that got sent into space back in the 1980s.
Okay. He's into superstitions.
You didn't know? Turns out that sun sends out harmful rays that mess with your body's equilibrium. Normal sunscreen doesn't work.
But that's where this special one comes in. And if you opt in right now, you can get 3 bottles for just 300,000 yen.
Hey, doesn't she sound kind of strange?
Retreat!
Sorry to bother you.
Aw, you're so cruel.
She's trying to sell us something.
This sucks so much. What's wrong with you? I thought you weren't interested in picking up chicks.
If I'm in a match, I want to win.
It was an operation, not a match, bro. You're good.
I know what our problem is. You can't control yourself.
Oh, projecting, putting the blame on him.
Blame this on me?
I'm just stating the obvious.
It's not like you scored either, Sonata-san.
It's weird how their faces are like a different color than the rest of their body.
It doesn't make any sense.
What did you just say?
Continue to bicker. I haven't heard that word in a minute. Holy.
That's it. Leader, whose fault do you think it is?
Junpei's fault is your fault. It's both of your faults.
I won't accept a stalemate. It's either him or me.
Yeah, that answer ain't gonna cut it. Besides, what the hell do you know?
What? Do you see something?
Holy. Wait, is that Aegis? Wait, that's Aegis right there. Yo! What is she doing here? Yo! Why are we just watching her, dude? She's a robot, though.
Talk about saving the best for last. Now that's what I'm talking about. Holy hell, she's cute.
Yeah, she is.
Oh man, this is insane. If we nail this, it'll blow our failures out of the water. How about this time, we try going one by one instead of all together?
All right, I'm in.
Okay, and let's decide the order. We'll go clockwise, starting with the winner. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors.
So I lost. I think I lose no matter what. Yeah, I lose no matter what. So I go last, and she likes me.
Okay, I'll go first, Sonata second, and you'll go last.
Yeah.
Here goes. Hey. I noticed you've been, staring at the ocean. So, you here with anyone? My name's Junpei.
Junpei?
Junpei? Hold on.
I was just wondering if you'd be down to talk. If you're not busy. I mean, it's more fun than standing here all by yourself, right?
I am looking for someone.
Nope.
Oh yeah?
You are not that someone.
Wow, you got shot down faster than I expected.
Dang, son.
She's a tough one, Senpai.
Don't worry about
Hey,
it.
guys, let's go. Now I finally get to meet. I've never even heard her voice lines before.
Oh, hey. Do you like the ocean?
Everybody is so lame.
Is your question directed at me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the ocean. You know, I heard something interesting about triathletes who train at indoor pools. Apparently, they get outperformed by athletes who train in the ocean.
That information is irrelevant to me.
Ooh. Well, now it's my turn.
Well, I won. I talked to her longer than you did.
Yep. I don't think you did. I don't think you talked longer, actually.
This sucks. I could cry.
Hey, don't cry. Ugh, you're making me feel bad.
Well, that's where we are. If you can't pull this off, I'm gonna be traumatized for the rest of my life.
We're on the ropes, but it's not over yet.
It's not
it's all
over
up to
yet.
you now.
Let's freaking go. I'll avenge you. Yo, what should I say to her? Oh. Hey, baby. Yeah, which one should I say? Hey, baby, could be tough. Hello's also kind of comfy. Can we talk? About what? I don't know her. The tide is high. Do the same thing that guys talked about, the ocean first? Let's just get straight in there. Or hellos, that's very casual. Hey, baby.
You.
I couldn't hear what he said, but she looks surprised. We should go over there.
Bruh, nah, let me talk.
Initiating evasive maneuver. Confirmation must be made at a secure location.
She's running like Naruto. What?
Hey, what did you say to make her run away like that? Well, what are you waiting for? Go after her.
I don't care to. Holy.
Turn into serious trouble. You gotta go tell her you're sorry. If you don't, we'll get all the blame. Go on. You can catch her if you hurry.
Decided to follow the girl into the forest. Oh, so this was the girl that was watching me, I think. What did that run? As you go after her and clear up the misunderstanding. Evasive maneuvers. The slowest Naruto run of all time, bro. She's running mad slow. I really don't like this, where it's cutting every 5 seconds to turn the camera. Like, what? I should go after her and clear up the misunderstanding. Why are you saying that again? I understand that it's a linear path. Bro, yeah. How am I walking, keeping up in the cutscene? She's really not running that fast. I lost sight of the girl. She's literally right behind the sign. It's the girl from earlier. She must be one who's been watching me. Wait patiently. I approached anyways.
Now I am certain. I have found you. I have been searching for you. My highest priority is to be at your side.
Huh. What the heck?
What? Are you friggin' kidding
Nah,
me?
she might be the one.
What's going on? He didn't even say anything to her.
You don't know that. Seems like she still doesn't want to let go.
There you guys are. What are you doing here? We've been looking all over for you.
What are you doing in the middle of the woods in your swimsuits?
You have no idea what we've... Huh? Who's this? And why is she hugging you?
Listen, we have a slight situation here. I'm sorry to interrupt your vacation, but I need everyone to go back to the house and gear up.
Ah, that won't be necessary. We found what we were looking for.
Mr. Chairman, what do you mean?
You had me worried. You can't just leave the lab on your own, Aigis.
Oh, Aigis?
Understood.
Sorry for all the trouble. Everything is under control now.
What happened to securing the tank?
Oh, that's been taken care of. Aigis, join us over here.
Understood.
Understood. Holy robot.
This is Aigis. As you can see, she's a machine with the form and face of a human girl.
I am Aigis. My objective is to exterminate shadows.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. I like the name, but instead of saying Aigis, I'm gonna say it Aegis. I think I'm gonna add this to. I have a notes of all the baby names, and I like names that start with an A, and I think Aegis might be good. I'm gonna say Aegis, and then in parentheses, I'm putting Persona 3. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd, literally.
I have been assigned to seize, effective immediately.
No way. It's like she's alive.
This is unbelievable.
How can a robot be this cute? What a cruel world.
10 years ago, a plan was enacted to create anti-shadow weapons. A contingency in the event a shadow became unmanageable. Aigis was the last one to be made. And she's the only one that still remains today.
An anti-shadow weapon? Does that mean she has a persona too?
Correct. I am capable of wielding the persona called Palladian.
She suffered major damage in combat her first year out, and she's been kept in the lab ever since. I'm still not sure as to why she suddenly reactivated herself this morning.
Okay, so in Persona 5, it's Morgana that is the like extra person that isn't human. That's like the mascot. In Persona 4, it's that fat-faced thing. I don't know what that thing is. But in this game, it's the robot Aigis. Okay.
In any case, I hope you'll all get along.
An anti-shadow weapon. Possessing passing a will all her own. This is amazing!
If you don't mind me asking, when we first saw you earlier, you were, hugging our leader. Do you know him?
Yes, it is very important for me to be by his side.
Holy.
Maybe her facial recognition system is malfunctioning? Or maybe she's still half asleep. Very interesting.
Half asleep?
Well, I can ponder this later. Anyhow, I forgot to mention. Did you know there are a wide range of recreational facilities you can use here? There's a tennis court, a pool table, and even a karaoke machine. Would anyone care to hear me sing?
No, I'm good. Okay, one more day of summer break or vacation. It's day 3 of our vacation in Yakushi.
Man, I can't believe it's already the 3rd day of our trip. It's too bad we have to go home tomorrow. I'd totally stay longer if I could, but I can't complain too much. We went through a hell of a lot here.
And Agus is coming back with us.
You in the chair
Or Agus.
singing. I barely got any sleep last night.
Do we have a mission at the beach today?
Nah, it's nothing like that. We just came here to have some fun.
Do you understand what it means to have fun, Aegis? Yes, I am informed of the concept. Recreation is sustenance for one's mental well-being.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, you sure know a lot about us humans. All right, let's take one last dip before we leave.
Wait. Junpei-kun, is it okay for Aegis to go on the water?
I see Reddit like that.
I'm sure she's fine.
Oh, are you done already? It is best that everyone partake in this activity together. Deriving enjoyment alone is not the optimal method to have fun.
You've got some strong feelings on pretty weird things, don't you? But what the heck, might as well.
Oh, no more running.
We should join them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Enjoying yourselves? Quite a lot's happened during our time here, but it looks like we'll get to relax a bit today.
That would be nice.
Sonata-san, what you doing? Come on, it's your turn.
My turn? What are they doing?
Glad to see everyone's having so much fun. I've already told you what time the ship is arriving tomorrow, right? I'll probably head over to the port early, so don't be late.
Okay, I'll let everyone know.
We can get back to business once we return to the
So
dorm.
EP. After the vacation, I'm getting off. So if you guys are staying awake to watch the beach stuff, it's about to be over.
All right, I guess we should
I need
join
a
through.
haircut bad, bro. Hold on.
I guess wait, this time the water got me.
Junpei-kun is down!
All right, here's our chance for an all-out attack.
All out attack.
Wait, time out. Let's use the cannon.
Yo, that's tough. That's tough right there. If I can join in, things are likely to get livelier. The Fool! Ranked up to level 5. Bun, bun. Ah, the last day. That day was so short. Nothing happened. What's wrong with his heart?
You seem to be in great pain.
You again.
Shit, it's them.
You mean those three? Ugh, they're freaky.
Why does this dude walk around with a suitcase at all time and stand with one heel up in the sky like that? That is such a weird stance. That can't be comfortable to be doing all the time. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, she might be the most attractive girl in the entire game. Like, I love blondes. Like, Aegis is freaking hot. But girl in dress? What? Look at that red hair, bro. Yeah, that's pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Why do they always run and hide at the sight of me? They're like back alley rats.
Beats me.
Jin, give him the capsules.
Thanks. I'll pay you the usual way.
Now hold up. This time, we'd like your payment in the form of information. Your acquaintances have been busy lately. I'm referring to their activities on nights when the moon is full, of course. They've spent a great deal of time in the tower as well. I wonder, why did they take this burden upon themselves? You do know, don't you? But you don't wish to say. Is it perhaps because you're one of them?
I'm not. Got nothing to do with them anymore.
Ooh.
Then tell us. I'm sure you'd agree these pills are more important than a group you have nothing to do with.
Is he gonna die?
I don't know the details, but supposedly, destroying all those creatures will put an end to the Dark Hour. And that weird-ass tower will disappear. That's all I know, alright?
You mean they intend to eliminate the Dark Hour completely? Why would they do such a thing? To give up such power? To destroy the Tower of Demise.
Tower of Demise.
Tower of Demise? Who wouldn't want to take out that damn thing?
Did she just not talk? What's all this? Oh.
Yes, I know.
I can't go back. I won't use my power again. Not after last time.
A whole bunch of stuff going on with this guy. We just met Aegis and like, it's crazy how fast she's just a part of us now. Man, I'm beat. It seemed to take forever to get back.
Hello.
Yeah, it was a tiring trip. Please rest up. You're ready for the next operation.
Yeah.
There's 6 more to fight, right? Just the last full moon, shadows and things will go back to normal. No more apathy syndrome incidents, just plain old everyday life. Let's do our best after all. We're the only ones who can help. Where's Aegis? Aegis! It's weird that her feet are like that, though.
Greetings.
These are your lodging quarters. Very well, I shall remain by your side at all times. She's still far from passing as human. It doesn't look like she understands ordinary feelings and conversations yet. If she could, I might be able to form a bond with her. How do I make that happen? I want that to happen. I want to form a bond with her. Looks like a normal girl as long as she doesn't do anything too weird. But if she does, do you think anyone will figure out that she's actually a robot? Maybe not. Most people probably aren't on the lookout for undercover robots. That's very true. All right, well, now we have Aegis in our group. Let's go. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I can see why people might pick Aegis over Takaba, because she's like the most unique and she wants to be by my side, so she has like the most interest in me. And Takaba has been kind of rude to Junpei, but Junpei is kind of annoying sometimes. So I mean, it's all flowing together. But either way, that's gonna freaking do it for today. Freaking, I keep doing that. Freaking amazing play session, if I must say so. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to be a part of the Akatsuki. It's been real and it's been fun, but it has been real fun. Until the next one.